La noche es nuestra, tu cuerpo se mueve y el ritmo me secuestra. Mami, no parecía así más cerca. Tú y yo pegaditos, perdidos en la fiesta. Siente el bajo, déjate llevar. Tu cadera me tiene mal. Ay, ay, me encanta cómo te trato, mami, no hay igual. Vamos a romper la pista, esto es fenomenal. Muévete, muévete sin miedo. Encendido, sigue, sigue que esto está encendido. Me encanta.
They have the right to do whatever they want to do. I think, in my honest opinion, that you are totally allowed to prohibit people from coming into the country if you're trying to cut down on sex tourism and the solicitation of sex in the country. I think you contradict yourself when you have major red light zones that you know attract tourists, but you're also harassing tourists before they enter the country. I think you are contradicting yourself when you have whole cities that are making plans to create sexual tourist attraction zones, as we've seen from Cartagena. I think you, and I think for those of you guys that say foreigners are coming to the country to deal with minors, which is a very small number of, travelers in general from all over the world, like it's extremely small, probably less than 2%. I think when you start trying to say that, but you don't acknowledge that the age of consent in Colombia is 14 years old, I think that's where I start to have a problem with these Colombian apologists, right? Give me 1 second, guys, because I really want to go in. Give me 1 second, because I really want to go in on this topic. I don't think this is a topic that I'm going to leave alone, but I'm probably not going to fully entertain this topic on YouTube because I understand what's going on here and what is at stake. So I've had a couple people threatening to report me to migration, a bunch of other, nonsense that they've been saying, and they've been trying to misrepresent anything that I do as being one of these like international deviants. It's really just scare tactics. I don't think anyone has really reported me. And for the people that have reported me, these are people that just have hate in their body. And I see that being a truth teller and being somebody that spreads truth and tells the truth can actually get you in more trouble than what it's worth. So it's almost like, and I kind of wanted to shout out to Chill Capo because Chill Capo wanted to do an interview last week and I turned him down, right? And he was cool about it. He understood, but I kind of had to break it down to him. I said, yo, bro, you have a really bad stigma on you right now. And I think it's really unfair. And a lot of people reached out to me about being careful because, you're like, yo, bro, you don't want them doing the same thing to you. Chill Capo has a really bad stigma on him right now. And I told him, I said, bro, anything that's next to you is going to become radioactive. And I'm like, I'm still in the country, right? So it's like, as much criticism as I have for what's going on in the country, I have to pull back. I have to soften my punches. Like there's things I can't do because I don't want to become the target of whatever, political campaign they're on to try to make themselves look as if they're not the country that it's been for over 100 years, for over 200 years, for over 300 years, right? Like I've been trying to be more on that side of
brilliant. And that's what I've been saying. Like when you cut your cost of living so low, like right now in Thailand, oh God, I'm getting a fucking steal with what I'm paying for rent. But it's like when you cut your cost of living so low, I can actually take more risk to make money. And it's like, okay, if I'm good with tech and you analyze business needs, how can you then solve that business need? And then, it took me time to learn what to do. But now I'm seeing, how could I make sure that this business has a reason to pay me every month? So now I went from building out the website to now I'm hosting the website myself. I host the website myself. I maintain the website myself, and I charge them a fee. Here's how I basically picture it. If I'm charging a business $30 a month to maintain their hosting and monthly maintenance, and I could touch 300 businesses like that over the course of this year. Every single month, I'm making $9,000 per month. If my cost of living is under $1,500, and that's for everything included, fun, food, everything, like literally just going crazy every single month. My cost of living is under $1,500, right? Maybe to run my business is another $200-300. Let's say it's $2,000. I am pocketing $7,000 per month, and then what I started talking about as of lately is not only do you have more capital to pay down your debt, number one, but number two, I can actually invest that into a Roth IRA. I could open up a 401k. I could pay into things where 20-30 years from now, that same retirement niggas talking about I'm not going to have because I left the country, I have it, even if not even more abundantly. And of course, you got to throw crypto into your portfolio too. I don't like jumping and moving around too much. But I think, regardless, that's going to happen because I don't see myself staying in Medellin. I think when you are an English-speaking single black man, it is almost impossible for you to not go to the park at least once or twice. And I think the park is becoming problematic because a lot of my friends are meeting at the park. They're congregating there. That's where they're going out to have fun. And I'm kind of opting out to hang out with them niggas because it's like, I don't want to be in the park at all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to deal with that shit. Talking to a girl and getting fucking harassed by cops. To me, I think it is the most pointless shit ever to walk through the park and you can't talk to any girls unless you're in a club spending money. I don't go into the clubs to spend money. I know what they do to people in there. You guys see what they did to Chocop already. It's like, I don't want to spend my money with none of them niggas. But also, I don't want to be walking around looking at all these beautiful women that are constantly beckoning me. And see, the thing with some of them girls is they'll take the risk with the police. Like they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to get extorted for no money. So they don't have your best interests at heart. They're not thinking to themselves, man, me talking to you could get you in trouble with the police that's looking for some bullshit to happen, right? They get jammed up. They just get annoyed. They're not getting posted on social media. That's not happening to them. If I'm sitting there minding my business, a girl come up to me, right? And this happened. This is real life. A girl was in front of Sky Park and she was beckoning me to come and talk to her. And I said, no. I was like, look, I'm like, no, I'm not come talk to you. And basically, she came and she walked up to me and started like, hola, papi, let me get your number, whatever. And I'm like, yo, I just told you no. I literally, and I said it to her in Spanish. I'm like, es mucho policía aquí. No puedo. I'm like, I can't. And she just thought I was rude. And she started talking to Nate, you feel me? Trying to swap numbers or whatever. She's like, yo, your friend is rude. And it's like, I'm not rude. I'm just traumatized because the last time I talked to a girl in the park, I had 12 cops bum rush me with several cameras in my face, making me seem like I was Diddy of fucking Medellin. So I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not doing that shit. So these girls are out there to feed themselves and feed their family. They don't give a fuck, bro, if your face is plastered all over the internet, for being a sexual deviant. The whole time you're literally just chilling with your friends and there's a bunch of girls and they're super thirsty talking to you 24/7. They don't care. So I just think, for me, what is really my benefit of walking through the park? Everything is overpriced. What they're asking for is overpriced. The cops are there harassing citizens. The girls are getting harassed, but the girls don't give a fuck if they're getting harassed because they need to eat and make money and pay their bills. So you're really just going there to have a bad time. It's you feel like the park is not what it was. You feel me? The park could have been a place where you're not even going there to even indulge. You could have just been going to the park to just hang out with your friends, drink and vibe. You might have a couple conversations with some girls, laugh and joke. You can't do that. And then they secretly have these camera crews that are walking around the park filming all of the guys, or they have these girls with iPhones that's waiting to catch a sucker talking to one of these chicks so they could plaster you on the net. You don't know what that footage is going to be used for. You don't know what that content is going to be used for. So I try to get my niggas to understand, yo, guys, I'm not going there. There is literally zero benefit in me stepping foot in that fucking park other than the camaraderie with my niggas. I don't see any point. And now it's starting to get to the
Thailand creator I watched said 3,500 to 4,000 can pay for a whole year rent in Thailand. Is that true? Nah, that's not true. That's not true. None of the places I rented was any less than 700. Maybe I like if you're living in like some like one of the cribs I had, it was cheap, but it was some very low quality shit. But if you just want to have a place to rest and a place to boom boom, I was paying like $250 a month. That was a fucking steal, but it was ass, all right? It was ass. The building was ass. Even some of the girls that coming through, they'd be looking around the building like, why the fuck do you live here? But if you're able to stay there long term, rent does get cheaper.
I paid about $200 for a week, about $201 or $202 for the week. Oh, that's actually a fucking great question. So I'll give you guys a little look. I'm still putting away my shit, so don't be too judgmental of what's going on here. But y'all can see the spot. Okay. Y'all see the spot. We're on the 25th floor. All right. 25th floor. I got my shit all over the place still. Okay. So y'all can see what's going on here, basically. Make sure y'all can see that. Okay. So I was just in the elevator with a dude. He seemed like he might be from here, right? I was like, I was just curious. I'm like, y'all might want to stay in the Philippines for a little minute. Now, the unfortunate part about my building is I can't have any visitors after 12. That's going to defeat a lot of shit a nigga trying to do after 12 because the demons come outside at 11:59 p.m. So at 11:59, I basically got to have shorty in the crib before 12. I'm going to need to have to get a shorty in 60 seconds. That's not realistic. So I'm like, we might not stay in this. The fact that it's really nice. The downstairs lobby is super nice. They have a doorman, all types of shit. I'm in the middle of a bunch of shit. So I'm like, this is going to suck. We might have to go somewhere else. However, I'm in the elevator with this nigga, right? And I'm like, yo, bro, do you live here? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yo, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you lived here in this building? It's like since last year. Oh, so, all right. If you don't mind me asking, how much are you paying per month? Nigga said about $15,000. So, oh, okay. So I go on my phone. Remember how much I just told you I paid? I said I'm paying $200 for a week, right? So I go on my phone. I type in 15,000. Notice I didn't even type it in this time because it's already here. I typed in 15,000. Look at how much that is in US dollars. Look at how much that is in US dollars. This nigga is paying $254 a month. $254 per month. He was like, yeah, but it's unfurnished. Nigga, you think I give a fuck about that? Furniture will probably cost me another $200-300. Maybe $400. Little mattress, low vibe, little couch vibe going on. A lot of this shit built into the apartment. So I'm like, see, now I gotta go see what the other vacant apartments is looking like. This nigga paying this for the month. I'm basically paying this for a week. And that's why you gotta love Southeast Asia, because it just gets super duper cheap. And